Hello.
One of these days is not like the other. No, one of these days I am going to remember that I can just do this before we start playing.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
First, you're gonna tell me about this science stuff.
Sorry about that. What is a scientist?
You caught me like I'm experimenting with
Science!
It's like magic with electricity.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
The smartest scientists in the entire world all agree
Science is a liar sometimes.
Seriously, this could not seem less scientific.
Those idiots don't know anything about science.
It's science.
I believe it's pronounced science.
This is the least scientific thing I've ever seen. So I'm just experimenting with them.
You be quiet!
Thank you, scientist.
We did it again. We just keep showing up to do more episodes of Under the Guise of Science.
That was good. Hello.
Thank you.
I'm Chris.
I am Charles, and we're going to talk about some stuff tonight.
We always do.
Yeah.
It's our favorite thing to talk about. Stuff.
Like mixing things in every now and again. Things are also fun. What are we talking about tonight, anyways?
Yeah. So I don't know why, but I thought of, hey, every culture and religion has their creation story. I'm most familiar with the Christian one because growing up learning that. So I figured, since we've been talking about how science says the universe got its start and how reality got its start, that maybe we would compare that to the creation story from the Bible, from Christianity.
So you have taken the creation story and you will now be fact checking it based off of the science we have available to us.
I guess, yeah, that's one way to put it. Yeah, and we'll be ranking, we'll be giving a rating to the Bible and scoring it for accuracy, and resulting in a made-up rating that I will stamp on Bibles and hotels going forward.
We'll get a rubber stamp.
Yeah.
with whatever we'll call it by the end of the show. We'll get back to that joke. But,
right.
So you have set this up so we could do this for other religions' creation stories.
Absolutely.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
There's nothing I love more than running episode titles or topics.
Yeah, exactly. I figure we got to do this once a week, so let's plug in some fucking straws and see what happens.
So we'll now have aside from our regular episodes, we also have the Of the Moon contest, the fan favorite Of the Moon contest. We apparently watch movies sometimes, so that's another one. To now have a fourth different other show within our show, like still the same thing, but like special theme.
You right?
It would be really fun to like. And here's the part of where I definitely say there's times that I should rein my ideas in a little bit. Like the idea of having each one of them be its own, like to start calling it show topic theme 1 or the regular episodes. So that goes in the beginning, and then show topic theme 2 of the Moon contest 2 bears. You know, just like over
many categories.
Yeah, just throwing so many like colons and semicolons into the title. But we want people to be able to remember what the fuck they're trying to look at, what they're trying to decide. So
right, as much as I do love that idea, though, just getting silly with it. And it would be easier to sort files on the computer and put them in different folders and stuff. So the nerd in me likes it as well. Yeah, I'm also a fan of Coheed and Cambria, who have album titles and song titles that have Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, from Fear Through the Eyes of Madness. Like that's the name of just one song.
That is
And that's
one
like
song title?
Then part 1 of Good Apollo, I'm Burning Star 4, part 1, from Fear Through the Eyes of Madness. Yeah. And then there's yeah. So I'm into that kind of shit as is. So,
So I feel like their song titles were just, at least I haven't heard, so I couldn't tell you, but you know when you try to do a note on like some type of note app and it just makes the first sentence the default title, like it feels like they just like well that's what this is called in this, so we're just gonna go with that, which if that was the case, that'd probably get me into them a little bit more at all.
They are, so it kind of, I think they got lumped in with emo stuff when they came out, and kind of pop punk stuff also, which they are not. And originally, like the first 2 albums were on a label that I guess was kind of associated with that, but they are, I call them, I think they're like a pop prog band is the best way to put it. They're very progressive rock, but they also have a little poppiness to them. It's kind of like Michael Jackson and Rush and Queen thrown in a blender and singing songs about a comic book science fiction thing.
All right. I feel like I'm probably going to end up liking them eventually.
You have no choice. I get it. I get the voice. Just get past it. The drummer is fucking nuts.
But voices that I don't like are really deal breakers for me.
You just pretend he's doing a Michael Jackson impression on a bad Michael Jackson impression on purpose.
Like Trivium is the band that I seem to love that nobody else likes at all. But I don't care because I like just about all their shit. Their 2000, I just got into them after their 06 album Ascendancy came out. And then I was like, oh shit, their next album is going to be fucking amazing. I can't wait. I'm into the band now and I get to be excited about a new album. That album is called The Crusade. Right before they did that album, they covered Master of Puppets for a Metallica tribute album. Very well. They fucking crushed it. And he really Hetfielded up the vocals.
Nice.
Matt Hafey, the singer, guitar player from Trivium, he took that voice to the next album, and I can't fucking listen to it.
Oh, really?
I've tried many times. Like, you never sounded like this. You completely changed your fucking voice. And there was apparently quite a bit of backlash because he went back to his voice for their following album, which is my favorite album of theirs by far. That was what's Samurai Shogun. There you go.
Okay.
Shogun, their 4th album. I will. If anyone's interested about trying to get into Trivium, that's the album I would throw at them. Like the title track Shogun is fucking 13 and a half minutes long.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's
nice. Yeah,
and it's pretty dynamic. Like there's like really soft parts and like really heavy, fast, lots of double bass stuff. And then the first show Lauren and I went to together after we were dating was Trivium, because I had never seen them before, so that was my first time, and they were still playing shit off that album a lot. So I lost my fucking shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and she married me, so I guess she was okay with it. But,
she was okay with that.
I was like, thank you for coming to this show to watch a guy several years younger than me sing about being a samurai.
That is, yeah. My favorite music is usually where the songs are about nothing real. Yeah. Like the big news songs from Clutch. It's 2 songs about a fucking riverboat. They're the best.
I feel like a lot of Clutch's stuff I got into early because it was like What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, like Egyptian gods and stuff like that, just pulling references for no reason. Yeah, they're not really a social conscious kind of band. They're more let's see where this joint takes me kind of band.
I liked Faith No More like immediately.
Oh, I was going to say, what's with the past tense has me worried. What's going on? Liked? Okay. Yeah.
I still like Faith No More, but I also used to too. I liked them right away because they were fucking weird, and I didn't get what the words were about. And I was like, oh yeah, being weird for the sake of being weird. To an extent, yeah, but also how words sounded were more important to Mike Patton than to what words meant. So he would pick things to sing based off of how much he enjoyed saying that word, which I find very relatable.
Right, yeah. Like when people ask him especially the last two, I don't know about the most recent album, like the reunion album, but King for a Day and what's the one after that with the Strip Search, and why can't I think of the name?
Album of the Year.
Album of the Year, okay.
Yeah.
Because it's a generic title. Yeah. So those two albums, he said in particular, he stuck, like when people say, what's this song about? He's like, it's not really about, I don't want to say it's not about anything, but it was, like you said, it was more about this word sounds good here and versus having a meaning for the song, I guess.
Yeah. Like, he was still able to, on Angel Dust, Everything's Ruined is probably my favorite song off that album. And
That's a good one.
It's weird because it's a song like he's singing about a baby, but it's also money. Like it's coins and stuff like that. But it's so he was still doing, I guess, still making an effort to make it. Like he can still make it a cohesive thought. Like overall, the song kind of makes sense, but it's
well, even the song "King for a Day, Fool for a Lifetime," like the whole look, everything's spinning, we're on the ground. Like, yeah, those words sound, but there is some kind of theme to it, and it's about mortality, kind of like there's, but it's less about. He's not sitting there and writing a song and then after the music comes trying to fit these lyrics to a music. It's more he hears the music and was like, ooh, this would sound good if it was like these syllables here, kind of, and works that way.
Yeah, like here's the I think he definitely would probably write this way. But like listening to Maynard talk about making the most recent album, but anytime he's making any of his music, he's listening to it and just it's a lot of, with him at least, it's a lot of figuring out where the syllables are. Like it's not necessarily what words are, it's like the rhythm and like the cadence of how he's going to do. So I'd imagine, like, especially that Mike Patton has whole albums of songs where he doesn't actually say words. That's right. There's no actual word.
That's one of my favorite songs.
But it sounds awesome. It sounds awesome out of his mouth.
It's some of my favorite live things. Like, I've seen, I don't even know how many fucking shows at this point, but some of my favorites that I can think of, it was 2 or 3 shows of Mike Patton and Rozelle. And they just stood they stood on opposite sides of the stage and made sounds at each other. That was it. It was like 90 minutes of just making noise with their mouth at each other. And Patton had some like controls that he would fuck with. I don't know if he was tuning into real radio stations or if it was like a fake predetermined sounds like a radio station thing. But Rozelle would then kind of do whatever sound was coming out of it, and then Patton would do his weird screaming into different mics, and it was just it was just them making noises. Right. And it was fucking amazing because Rozelle does like I don't know how many sounds he could do with his voice at once, but he'll do the bass, the snare, and sing all, and then have like a hum going on in the background. Like he's just fucking incredible with that shit.
Yeah, like there's a thing my brother and I can do. It's like the kind of hum whistle at the same time thing, which apparently I had just assumed everybody like could do it, but like
Is that Dumb and Dumber tractor beam? Tractor beam. Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, that's Jim Carrey says tractor beam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like in what the hell is that one called? New Hope, when Obi-Wan's powering down the tractor beam is
Yeah. No guards heard that. You're good.
yeah.
As an IT auditor, I can tell you right now, a fucking alarm better go off if someone's turning the power off.
Look, if they were gonna leave a gaping design flaw, like a hole where you could shoot into once and it would blow the whole fucking thing up, they obviously cut corners on alarms for programs.
Rogue One explained the hole. Did you see that?
They did, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Oh,
I saw it
okay,
first. I saw it in the movies and fucking loved it. But
It was
I just
designed by a
haven't rewatched
rebel. He put it in there on purpose.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So then maybe they had rebel IT guys.
Maybe. They were like, we don't need backups. And they laughed at it. Yeah. Who backups their data? You some kind of rebel scum?
Yeah, right? Oh my god. So speaking of Rogue One, we saw that in the movies in one of those 4D movie things, which I don't know if you've ever been in one of those. So it's 3D glasses. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say every movie is 4D because time, but sorry, go on. Yeah.
I can't even get through this sentence, the Bible. You're fucked.
Right.
He noticed that on the fly and put a halt to it. He's been thinking of this shit for weeks.
Yeah, this is in Excel.
But so it's in addition to 3D glasses that you wear for it, obviously, you're in a chair that kind of feels like a roller coaster seat.
Oh.
That moves. And
Oh, sweet.
And it has speakers right in the head part, and then it also releases smells.
Nice.
Yeah. Or like does breeze.
Darth Vader farts.
I wish they would have done that. But apparently, if I'm to believe what I learned in that movie, outer space smells like cherries for some reason.
Interesting.
But yeah, like it was
cherries.
They were like taking off in ships when the ships were flying, and you were in like the POV of a ship. It was awesome. But it was also do it like unnecessarily, like somebody was climbing a ladder into something, and the seat's just going like boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
like picture what a Muppet looks like walking down a hallway. Like that's what it made. Like the over exaggerated, just side to side head move.
Like you're gonna experience the fuck out of this ladder.
Yeah. This ladder will feel like no ladder has ever felt to you before.
Every ladder will be subpar going forward.
Get ready to be disappointed by ladders for the rest of your life.
Rogue One, best ladder experience of all time.
They won the Oscar for best ladder experience that year, actually.
Yeah, that was one of the early. Yeah, they just kind of print that at the bottom. That's one of the.
Yeah, that was one of the ones they don't do on TV. It's like best ladder sequence, best grip.
Right. Ladder grip.
Best ladder grip, I'd have to say it was my left hand. All right. All right, the Bible.
All right, the Bible. Let's see. So we are reading first, if you want to follow along at home with your Bible, because I know everyone listening definitely has a Bible handy. This is the New American Standard Bible translation. I chose this one because supposedly it is the closest word for word. Going on the top Google search link and basing my Bible selection criteria on one link that I picked because I figured, who gives a shit? So we'll get rolling with that.
It's such a great. Here's all this information because I figured, who gives a shit?
Let's be honest. Okay. So we're starting with Genesis 1.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So that first sentence right there, I'm going to say not really, right? So it's starting off with, we got earth and heaven, which if you look at them literally, obviously not, they didn't come first. So I'm going to backtrack and kind of give a half point here, because in the beginning, supposedly at the time of the Big Bang, both matter and dark matter were created at the same time, one of which you can't see. So if you're going to say the heavens kind of represent the unseen and the earth kind of represents the seen, I'm being loose with my definition here, but half point goes to the Bible for that.
Wow, you are very generous with the Bible. So far. It's very
it got
nice.
ugly. I kind of had to do my best. Yeah.
Well, because I bet what happened was you started doing it and you were like, all right, Excel sheet open. The Bible is bullshit, which we can't get. We can't get an hour out of that.
No, there's no podcast.
Like, move on.
So Genesis 1. Nope. Yeah. Under the Guise of Science at Gmail. Under the Guise. Thanks for listening.
All right, you just want to talk about Coheed and Cambria and Faith No More again? All right, cool.
Tricked you.
So half a point so far.
Half a point so far.
Okay.
The second sentence we have, and the earth was a formless and desolate emptiness, and darkness was over the surface of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the waters.
If I may,
do you may.
Isn't any type of even a loose on the edge of being a sphere, isn't that still a form? Like, what do you mean the earth is formless?
A formless and desolate emptiness. I don't know. And also, they created the heavens and the earth, and all of a sudden we got surface of the waters. They kind of just threw that out that there's deep water all of a sudden. Boom.
I don't know.
It's not consistent. No, I agree. They get no points. They get no points for that one.
Did they have no points for that one the whole time?
They had no points for that one the whole time.
Okay, I wasn't sure if they. I wasn't sure if they were like, you know what? I was gonna give them a half, but fuck them.
I tried to even reach and think like, all right, maybe we can talk about this deep water thing in the form of like the opaque gluon quark plasma that existed before the whole recombination and that epoch happened. So it was kind of like I tried to give credit there, but no, I didn't see it. It was we're just pulling water out of our eyes here. We had one sentence where we created the heavens and the earth, and then all of a sudden God's floating over the surface of the water.
And I created Earth, but it's formless. And it's like,
yeah.
Did you create the Earth then, or are you just saying like, you know, oh, I'm gonna book this movie and you haven't even gone on the fucking audition yet?
It's like throwing a dozen eggs in the air and then they land in the street. You're like, I made that. Great. Fucking artist. Then God said, "Let there be light." And there was light. God saw that the light was good, and God separated the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning one day. So I'm kind of going to give, again, metaphorically speaking, where they say day and night, we're just kind of talking about the passage of time here, as far as like this shit happened. Like, I think you even said on an earlier podcast that we're not necessarily, like, if you want to break it down, it doesn't necessarily have to be one day past when all this shit happened.
Right. One day doesn't necessarily mean 24 hours. Metaphorically, it could be an age, an era, an epoch.
Sure.
One of those things.
Some indiscriminate period of time.
Yeah.
So, like I was just saying, there was that opaque quark gluon plasma that eventually the universe expanded enough and things cooled enough that the protons formed. Protons were able to capture electrons, and from there, light was able to escape. And the universe went from being this opaque orange to being basically clear, translucent, or transparent, actually, as it is now. So that being said, with the cosmic microwave background, the idea of let there be light, and all of a sudden all that kind of stuff happened, I was willing to give the Bible 1 point for this sentence. I think
for the cosmic microwave background.
Yeah. My sister even said it. She was listening to episode 2 and the whole I snapped my fingers, and that's when all of a sudden, boom, the light photons were able to escape instead of bouncing around that soup. And it was kind of like she pointed out that there was kind of let there be light with that. So I kind of
right.
she's a Patreon, so shout out to her and her $3.
Shout out to Cheryl.
Point. Yeah.
Thanks for helping us pay the bills.
Yeah.
I will say with that sentence, though, the whole, if he created the light, but then had to separate the light from the dark, that implies that they were intertwined at one point. So how could you tell? It's either the light or it isn't.
That's
true. Know, like you don't light a candle in the middle of a dark room and be like, "Hey, I'm here I come with the light." It's like, no, the light's here.
Right.
So
I agree with that. I agree with you. I was only giving credit because of the idea of separated and how photons are now able to escape from that whole mess.
Okay. All right. You do. I'm more critiquing the writing, I guess, while you're doing what you said you were going to do. And
no, that's absolutely fair. And because, all of a sudden, like, if there is, how do you have half light, half dark that you need to kind of like, you over here, get over here.
Yeah,
dark.
Get over here. Show this is not your side of the room. We 80s sitcomed this and put duct tape exactly down half the room. You get on your side, the dark.
I used to do that with my brother, and the door was on my half of the room.
Oh, that's such a good dick move.
Yeah.
Yeah, who else we got?
All right, so that was that's the end of day 1.
Okay.
And we'll move into the second day. So what do we have here? Then God said, "Let there be an expanse in the midst of the waters, and let it separate the waters from the waters." God made the expanse and separated the waters that were below the expanse from the waters that were above the expanse, and it was so. So again, we're just pulling a whole lot of water out of our ass. It was like God and water. That what came first? It was just a shit ton of water, and God was like doing things.
Not only that, it's like what the hell are they called? Oh, god damn it! I'm ruining my joke already because I can't remember what words are. What's the one that's not a dictionary that tells you where
Thesaurus.
Yeah, it's great. Well, now I'm going to tell the dumb joke anyway, even though I can't remember thesaurus. Apparently, the thesaurus wasn't invented yet because this motherfucker said water and expanse twice a sentence for 7 or 8 fucking sentences in a row. Like, this part read like stereo instructions.
Yes, this is IKEA. This is translated from Dutch. What the fuck? That's when I usually get mad and throw the screwdriver.
He made an expanse and separated the waters from the waters and put them above the expanse. And then he stopped to get Swedish meatballs before he went to put the thing on the roof rack.
There's a little Feynman coming out there. I feel like Feynman could kind of like bounce off that sentence a little bit. And you take an expanse and you make part the waters from the expanse of the waters.
So now you've got the expanse and the waters separated from one another, and you don't know how do you figure out which one goes on top? I'm just saying I'm not 100% sure where the waters would be at that point.
That's just so fucking good. It really is. How good. Sorry.
I forgot that one.
I'll remind you.
I would like you to remind me about doing this voice, because I know I can do this voice and I can't remember it. So if you could remind me, I would really appreciate it.
And then I could do it more often.
Yeah, and I could do it more often. Like, it really says some of the hard consonants in there.
Yeah.
even though he's from Queens and perfectly within his right to say often.
Yeah.
Like he said often.
Yeah, he avoids it. Yeah, he hits it all often. Yeah.
So yeah, the expanse in the waters.
Next, so the last sentence on day 2, God called the expanse heaven, and there was evening, and there was morning, a second day. I'm going to give a point for God called the expanse heaven. So this is day 2. If we condense, I think it's about, if my math is correct, 10 billion years or so before the formation of the Earth, 4.5 billion years, whenever it was. You had the CMB, cosmic microwave background, being released. You had all the hydrogen. You had stars forming and all this kind of stuff. So let there be light. We're separating darkness from light, all that kind of stuff. We'll sum that into the 10 billion years of stars igniting, which eventually led to our solar system being made, our Earth being made, and it being kind of this molten ball of rock that eventually developed an atmosphere. So the idea of having the heavens, having now a sky or something like that. Again, I'm being loose. I'm trying to give the Bible a little bit of something here, but I'm going to give them a point for the creation of the heavens after the creation of the earth and the separation of the waters and all that kind of stuff.
So if you're to take heaven and use it in the sense of when people refer to the stars as the heavens.
Yeah. Up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, even then, like, you brought it up already, but why is it just water and outer space? Like, why are those the two featured players through the first 2 days?
It seems like before this, God was sitting around like, what the fuck am I going to do with all this water? There's just so much water. I'm going to have to make something out of this. It's like God's mom was like, did you do anything with the water in your room yet, hun? God was like, I'm still thinking about it.
Leave me alone. I can't think when you're trying to ask me fucking questions about it all the time.
I'm trying to separate it. It's tough.
Oh shit. So that was the end of day 2.
That's the end of day 2. Yeah.
All right, and a point. They got
did
a
get
point.
they got a point.
How many points does the Bible creation
No,
story?
half point I gave them. Half point I
Okay,
gave them.
so they got a half point there, and then another full point somewhere else. What's the score? So
they have 2 out of a Bible has 2 points out of a possible 5. There was 1 full point for the let there be light, light from dark, that kind of thing. Half point for the atmosphere, and half point for the separation of heavens and earth.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Day 3.
Day 3.
Then God said, "Let the waters below the heavens be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and the gathering of the waters he called seas. And God saw that it was good. So good. So stopping there. The idea. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, no, so already it's like, so God at the breakfast table the next morning is telling his mom, he's like, I figured out what to do with the water. I put it all in one place.
Yeah.
And his
Right,
mom's
hon.
like, she's like, so you didn't even want to put it around. You just put it all in one spot. It was already in one spot. You were keeping it in one spot. You didn't do anything. You're just trying to pass off you being lazy. I was like, no, I decided to put it here. Like it's
You've had the water for 2.5 weeks, and that's all you can come up with? You moved it. You moved it from one side. You took it out of the box. Great.
Your father worked a lot of extra hours to afford to be able to get you that water for your birthday. And you're not even using it.
But when your father was your age, he could separate the waters from above, below, left, right. He was separating waters.
And you help him if it wasn't in one place. I swear to you, you are so lazy. I don't know when it went from a whiny voice to Lucille Ball 5 years before she died. But you know something, God? I've about had it up to here with you.
God's mom was a heavy smoker.
Whew. What did you say that we started talking about this?
Yeah. I knew this would have legs. So land and sea.
Right.
Yeah. So, okay, again, let's allow. We've scored the previous 2 days, all the bullshit, everything that happened. The stars formed, the earth formed, molten rock eventually developed an atmosphere. It rained for a long time. And there actually was a point where the earth was mostly covered in water, more so than it is now. Didn't have polar ice caps yet, so everything was pretty much submerged. Then at some point, due to both plate tectonics and the earth cooling a little bit and some ice forming and shrinking the lowering sea level, I should say, land did emerge. So obviously we're on it. So as far as the land and the sea getting separated, sure, that happened at some point. We're going to give a full point. I'll give a full point for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll allow it.
Good on you, Bible.
Yeah.
But continuing on with day 3, though. Then God said, let the earth sprout vegetation, plants yielding seed, and, it's italicized, and fruit trees on the earth bearing fruit according to their kind with seed in them. And it was so. The earth produced vegetation, plants yielding seed according to their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seed in them according to their kind. A lot of fucking repetition with this. Very redundant. But God saw that this redundancy was good. And then evening and morning, third day passes.
Like, it's, in addition to stereo instructions, it also has, like, it has real estate contract. like it's not leaving any room for interpretation. It's trying to tell you exactly what it means.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what this, I mean, at least throw in, like, henceforth in this document will be referred to as water, or
Right.
like, or thus, yeah, fucking
Expansive water will be referred to as, well, just give me an EOW.
yeah.
I'm fine with throw a little EOW in parentheses and we'll call it that going forward.
Fucking need to speak to someone at your copywriting team, Lord.
Yeah, did God run this by the editors? And they were like, how about this version? He was like, no. Expand that out. I don't want any fucking questions.
and then the editor's having a meeting after he leaves. It's like, look, he said we can't cut any of this out. It's like, there's so many of the same words. It's like, he says it's part of his process. So we'll just, I mean, he is ultimately doing good work, and if we just, we'll release the unabridged version later. How about that? We'll do.
Yeah. We'll just translate this into some other 4 different other languages and go from there. Oh, what did I do? Sorry. So what was this? Oh, yeah. So this was vegetation on land that he created before animals and shit like that. So no, 0 points here because even the shit on the vegetation, trees, everything like that, everything started in the water at some point and slowly made its way onto the land. So to think that there was all this fruit and everything like that on land before animals existed or anything, no, it all evolved at the same time.
Yeah, the whole quick wave of the magic wand, and it's just all covered in vegetation and fruits and forests and stuff like that. And it's like, well, now
no,
what?
No. Go.
Okay. Well, what are we gonna put in the forest now? I wonder.
Maybe something to eat. This stuff it looks tasty.
I can't just make this whole ecosystem go unchecked. There's got to be something to keep it in balance.
God had those ideas in mind. But the I forget what I was going to say. That doesn't matter. He gets no points for that because again, everything had to come out of the ocean originally. Luca. That's what I was going to say. We spoke about this in a previous episode. Luca, the last universal common ancestor, that includes plants like us, plants, mushrooms, bacteria, everything. At some point, you go back, run the clock back far enough, and we all evolved from the same thing, like just from the first life.
I thought you were referring to the editor-in-chief, Luca, of Science fucking magazine. Like, I thought you were bringing him up. He's normally down for some science, but he was like, hey, you watch your fucking mouth when you're talking about God, all right? You don't fucking blaspheme in this house. You don't blaspheme in this magazine.
Next, well, you Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Yeah.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
I don't know. I'm trying, Lord. But they're not. I don't know where I was going with this.
Yeah. Lord, give me the strength to punch this motherfucker right in his face. Disrespect. Yeah. Okay. Next day, my favorite day, day 4. We have, then God say, let there be lights in the expanse of heavens to separate the day from the night. They shall serve as signs for the seasons and for days and years.
So what was the light?
These lights, so they shall serve as lights, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, so many times They shall serve as lights and signs for the seasons, for days and years, and they shall serve as lights in the expanse of heavens to give light to the earth. And it was so. So he made the 2 great lights, blah, blah, blah. He made the stars also, he blah, blah, blah. So all this stuff. So now we put the sun and the moon and the stars and all that stuff up on the 4th day.
But then what was the light before that?
Exactly. We are way fucking past this. The 4th day, you are full of shit, and actually -1. I'm gonna take a point. I'm gonna take a point away for all this bullshit, because let there be light. We should have had stars already. We should have had fucking orbiting bodies already, sun and moon, and so all that. Yeah, no, this is filler and stupid. Because yeah, where does the light come from? Where does it come from? We can't do that without these lights in the sky. Like they make it out like the people aren't going to understand that it's light and then it's dark. We got to give them these 2 balls so that they know it's day and they know it's night, because they're not going to be able to see just by, hey, where'd my feet go? That that it's now night. So
-1 point for that. All right.
Yeah.
So after 4 days,
go fuck yourself.
After 4 days, what are we at? 2 points again?
We are still at 2 points
Oh man!
out of a possible 8.
Oh my god!
Not good.
No,
Not looking good.
you need to almost triple your score, Lord, if you want to pass this fucking test, bro.
Yeah, Bible's gonna have to go on a little run right now.
Speaking of, dude, was there any? Like, I don't know. You were in smart classes. That doesn't mean you didn't fail things from time to time. But like getting a 0, okay, not good. But man, when you'd get like a 31, like that was worse somehow.
Yeah, in 6th grade, I got a 44 on a math test that I still remember to this day. Yeah, because a 0 means you didn't try.
Right.
A 44 means you're a fucking idiot. That was your best. you gave it your all and walked out less than half right.
I have to pee.
Okay, time out.
All right, time it out. Be right back.
Okay. So while Charles pees, if we back up a little bit, I do want to point out that he made is in italics when it says he made the stars also. I don't understand why that's in italics. I don't know if that's just this particular translation of the Bible. Someone more scholarly on this topic could probably tell us, but it sounds like there was no question he made the sun in there. That's obvious. He made the sun, he made the moon, he made the 2 great lights. But also those little dots, he made them too. I don't know why we're fucking emphasizing that, but apparently whoever wrote this thought there might be some beef around who made the stars and what they represent. So, but God placed them in the expansive heavens to give light on earth and to govern the day and the night and to separate the light from the darkness, which again, we already fucking did. So we are 3 days later. This seems like we're just retreading old storylines that, we already established that. We made to the end of this and God was already on making things. He was making fruit and then he was like, oh shit, I forgot 2 balls. And he was like, oh, okay. Now I know how to make dudes. And there's no one here to laugh at. That was decent. That was decent. I like that one. I don't know how people do podcasts by themselves with no fucking reaction, nothing to bounce this off. I have no idea if this is any good. It feels awful. It feels really, really bad. But I'm hoping that it's not. I'm hoping that anyone listening to this will appreciate my effort. and also the strength of my bladder. Because I started drinking a few hours ago also. I make sure, though, right before I go on the show. What are you up to, the 5th day? We're up to day 5. I did a lot in 4 days. I guess it's easier if you just fucking say it. He doesn't even dance. He doesn't wave hands, nothing. Just says, like, gas stations, and there they are. Wish I could do that. Money. More money. Let there be money. Let there be a Swiss bank account that I could just fucking not pay an ATM fee at any ATM. Even those bullshit gas station ones that God said, let there be them too. And there they were. Doesn't that seem to, like, anyone who doesn't fucking believe in science, like, I don't understand. Like, we're just giving any kind of credence to fucking magic. That's it. It's magic. That's all it is. That's what this is describing. Magic. Like, to say, no, this fucking process that you obviously thought about and did math on and made observations and connected dots and spent decades coming up with. Yeah, no, that's not real. What's more likely is 6,000 years ago, this guy wrote a story about a magic trick, and that's what happened. Hey, welcome back.
What a sentence to come back in on.
Yeah.
I got close and I could hear you talking in the headphones, so I was like, all right, let me stay off and then put it on real quick. And yeah, I was
Well done.
Yeah, in my head I was like, all right, so either he's going to be talking the whole time or I'm just going to chop this chunk of dead air out of the middle.
As I just sat there and twiddled thumbs. I figured either way, I would just launch a couple Hail Marys up there. If you cut them out, you cut them out.
I enjoyed the last time you were filling space with me going to the bathroom.
Anaconda, yeah, that was a good one.
Because it was great, because it was like I was here for the podcast, yet there's a joke that I don't know about yet.
That's true, yeah. There might be some surprises for this one as well.
As I was putting the headphones on, I looked down at the screen and I was like, oh, he is talking intently right now. Like he is Bill Burr Monday morning podcasting right now.
I was musing on how people like that do that. That's fucking, because like with no one to bounce it off, like I have everything out of my mouth feels bad. but if you're here and you smile, I'm like, okay, I got something. Yeah.
Right. Just the mania that you must have inside your own mind to be like, this is all fine.
Right. Yeah.
Well, not even it's, or even if you're thinking it sucks, to just like, because there's so many times on his podcast where like he'll be saying something, he'll be going on for a couple minutes and then like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Shut the fuck up. And he'll just shit on himself and then move on to something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I could do that. I could do that as a sports radio host. I'm sure I could do that, a show by myself, because it's just essentially just here's an article in front of me. Here's me having thoughts about it, and then you can still bounce it, like you're still kind of bouncing it off the producer. Like there's other people that you're looking at their faces, but that is him with a microphone by himself laying on his bed.
Yeah.
Just fill an hour and a half with no fucking problem.
He does 2 a week, right?
Yeah. So sometimes the Thursday, just checking in on you. That one is that one is. It's highlights from old episodes now. Like he's doing the Stern thing a little bit.
Yeah, because how do you keep coming up with content? That's tough.
Yeah, and good for him, because he's just like replaying some old shit, like greatest hit stuff, and now he's getting more ad money because he's doing a whole nother podcast every week. So good on him.
Right.
Good on him. best live read ads in the game.
Yes.
Hands down. Nobody's even fucking close.
The only one close is, we've talked about him a few times now, but Jim Cornette does good live reads.
Oh, does he? I've never heard any of his live reads.
Yes, he does, because he's like, he makes up his own shit, really. Like there's and like the co-host has to be like, no, that's not what it's about, and like bring him back. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but anything technology related in particular, he's he's an old man.
If you sign up now for Squarespace, you can make your own internet right in the comfort of your own home with all the drag and drop productivity to make your own internet. I don't know.
There's one picture frame thing where it's like a internet connected picture frame that you could have, like you give to your grandmother, and then you could throw a picture of the grandkids on there. Like it can change on the fly like that. So his whole thing is, why would you have that except to send people pictures of your balls? Like that's the only. So that's his live read. He digs into that.
I was waiting for you to stop talking so I could say I want to give that to people just to send them pictures of balls.
Yeah, no.
So fantastic.
Simpatico.
Oh man, que bellissimo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where are we at? Where are we at in this Bible?
We're up to day 5. So
Day
we're halfway
5.
through the week.
All right.
Day 5 is where God gets busy.
Hump day? Are we on hump day right now? Or is this
Friday.
Is this Friday? Oh, okay.
This is Friday.
yeah.
Now. Yeah, no,
You did say God gets busy, all right?
God is up all like Friday bled into Saturday a little bit. He was like, "What time is it? I'm still making fish." So anyway, yeah. So God said, "Let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures."
I'm still making this fish, and then when I'm done, I'm going to start making this next drink, said God on a Friday night. And then I'm going to make Hot Pockets and microwaves and use them together.
After I'm done making these animals, I'm going to make them titties bounce. How God rolled on Friday night. Woo!
Friday night God, little to no fucking around. All business was Friday night God.
Yeah. Then God said, "Shots on me."
Yeah.
Also, let the waters teem with swarms of living creatures.
Or even better, everybody, shots on me, shots on me, shots on me. Hey! Cheers to letting the waters teem with fishes. It's like, all right, God, quit patting yourself on the back. I appreciate the drink, but come on, bro.
So he also made birds on day 5. And then he blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters and the seas, and let birds multiply on earth." And there was evening, and there was morning, a 5th day. So I will give half credit for this, because one of the earlier things to evolve, like I said, before plants, everything started in the water. So creating of the fish, that was the Devonian era was known as the Age of Fish. So that was one of the first things to come up. Half point for that. Birds came way fucking later. So no points for birds. That's bullshit.
I will also, if I'm to believe what I've read on the internet, God still has not invented birds because birds aren't real.
I've heard that as well. Government surveillance.
Yep. That is one of my favorite. Like, there's things that I see that people just get behind a lot. It's birds aren't real, and throwing your used car batteries in the ocean.
Yeah.
Those are my two absolute favorites. It's like you're just picking the most ridiculous thing and getting totally committed to it.
Yeah, and they come out of left field. It'll be like 3 sentences of normal stuff, and that's why I propose that you. And then it ends with throw your car batteries in the ocean. It's like, where the fuck? What?
I love the the arguments for throwing your car batteries in the ocean are that it's the ultimate thrill, it's totally legal, and those fucking AutoZone dicks don't want you to do it. Like that's the funniest fucking thing in the world. It's so stupid. I love it. And it was I get when people feel like isolated and alone, and then finding people who think similarly on the internet. I get that now. Because it's like I thought I was the only asshole on the planet who thought something this stupid is hilarious. No, I am not. Yeah. There's lots of us. There's a lot of fucking idiots out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think You Should Leave is a popular show.
I feel like he's making that show at me. I really do. I've said it multiple times. I stand by that. I feel like even Detroiters, like I feel like anything Tim Robinson does, I feel like he's doing it at me.
Yeah.
Like it feels so personal.
It's just the same level, same sense of humor, same exact.
Yeah,
like,
and
even down to the detail.
And to just know that there's a whole bunch of people that like, because it is quite popular.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think he won an Emmy for season 2. Emmy award-winning TV show writer and star Tim Robinson. Just love being able to say that sentence.
Yeah, good for him.
He's not worried about it. He's not worried about any of it. There's worse shit on the local news.
You know what? I'm done. Pull the plug.
Yeah, it's I love aggressive yelling when it's confusing.
What did they do to us?
Oh, man.
Agreed.
All right, so after day 5, what's the score?
Oh, good point. Let's check the score on day 5. Oh, shit. Bear with me. We are up to 2.5.
Out of a total
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2.5 out of 9.
Oof.
Yeah. Not doing the best.
Nope. Not looking good for the Bible.
But I think day 6, though, day 6 is strong.
Well, so
day 6,
just for clarification, is this also the Torah? Technically?
I guess, the first 5 books of the Bible are the Torah, right?
Yeah.
Of the the first 5 books of the Old Testament are also the Torah, yeah.
Okay, all right. So
I do believe, yeah.
It's the Judeo-Christian.
Yeah, so I guess we kind of are covering them too.
Yeah.
But I feel like the Jews kind of... I'm sorry for saying the word the Jews. Just saying that feels wrong. But the Jews kind of like accept that that's a story, asshole. It's only the fucking Red State Bible thumpers that fucking take this as fact. You know what I mean?
Right. And I bet because they're so fucking have their heads up their own asses and are ready to hate the aforementioned Jews on anything that they say. It's just like, yeah, it's real. This is 100% real. Like just doubling down on that just because it's the opposite of what Jewish people think. Like,
And Jews are like, we were reading that book like when you were still when you guys were still Jews.
Yeah.
we had that book already, and we already figured it. And you were like branched off and became your own thing, and like we're like, no, you're wrong.
Right. How do you
I think
how do you take half our shit and then tell us we're wrong about it?
Right. That's what Lewis Black. I remember a bit of him. And he was talking about people quoting the Old Testament, Christians quoting the Old Testament. He's going, that is my book, and as only he can do. But yeah, yeah. Like, no, you guys misunderstood. Misunderstood. We wrote it.
I gotta say, there in Hebrew, there's a lot of cool numerological stuff that they do with their words.
Like the letters representing numbers and that kind of
Yeah, like so it's. I'm not 100% on it, but I'm pretty sure it's the numbers representing parents and children. If you add them together, it equals the numerological equivalent of the word family.
Oh wow!
Yeah, like there's, like that's
clever.
Yeah, that's stuff that you like. If you heard a rapper doing shit like that, you'd be like, "This motherfucker! I see what you're doing."
Yeah, spitting.
Yeah,
man, Judaism got bars.
Kosher bars. These bars are blessed, son. The rabbi blessed these bars. So I think I derailed you immediately as soon as you started talking about this day.
Okay.
But
I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go back.
What day is it? Can you please
Would you please tell me? Wow, you got to use that in an actual sentence where it fucking worked and it's like added to the conversation. All right, well, we will definitely link that below because we've been singing that for 25 years. So, if not more.
Friday, Saturday, February, Hatterday.
Hatterday.
So day 6.
Day 6. Let the earth produce living creatures according to their kind. This I found interesting because there's apparently 3 kinds of animals. Livestock, crawling things, and animals of the earth.
I have a question.
I can't wait for this question.
So does that mean fish aren't alive?
No, yeah, they were different.
Fish and birds are not alive.
Listen, we made them yesterday.
It's a little bit of look, fish and birds are dead to me. You're all dead to me, fish and birds.
And I also want to point out they're long sentences, but these are 2 sentences, and it has according to their kind 5 times in these 2 sentences. So I'm going to read it. Then God said, let the earth produce living creatures according to their kind, livestock and crawling things and the animals of the earth according to their kind, and it was so. God made the animals of the earth according to their kind, and the livestock according to their kind, and everything that crawls on the ground according to its kind, and God saw that it was good. 5 times. We didn't have to do that.
Did not. Not at all.
And what the fuck is the difference between animals of the earth and crawling things? It was like, all right, so we got wild animals, we got livestock, and fucking snakes. Like they had to, like, why are we adding their own thing there?
All right. So is it all the stuff that I do not ever want to touch? Are those all the crawling things?
Maybe.
Like I don't want to touch bugs. I don't want to touch snakes, rats, vermin,
snails.
I don't want to touch snails.
Yeah, I mean,
gross. Like I found out I wasn't allergic to like all seafood, and it's just shrimp. So
Okay.
like I'll fucking eat oysters with no problem now. Fucking raw oysters with
Oh,
no
okay.
problem at all. And they're gross. They're good. Like I enjoy eating them, but if I take a moment to think about what I'm actually eating, it's like this is disgusting.
Well, I mean, if you really thought about like even chicken, like that was, I don't know, a bird, and now it's in a sandwich. I don't know.
That was a bird, and now it's delicious.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to derail, but did you watch the video that I sent, or did you get a chance to look at it?
I did not watch the full 15 straight, but I did jump around.
Okay.
I did jump around.
So on the internet, there have been people that have been trying to mathematically figure out if you can cook a chicken by slapping it, because energy is transferred per slap. So somebody did the math and figured out it takes like 23,000 slaps to cook a chicken. So that's theoretical science. We need experimental science. So someone else actually made a fucking experiment with a wheel and a wood 2x4, and then at the end of it's a rubber hand, and had it smacking a chicken multiple times. But long story short, you can't cook a chicken by slapping it. It eventually just tears the chicken to shreds before it cooks it. So
right, there isn't enough of a like there's not enough of a neutral space between slapping the chicken hard enough and enough times without it getting deteriorated, without there being a breakdown of the. So like you would need a stronger chicken. Turkey? Can you?
yeah, I guess
can
so.
you do
tougher.
What about a turkey?
I don't know.
Turkey's bigger than a chicken. Maybe it can withstand the beating a little bit better.
Maybe our next episode will just be us slap cooking a turkey.
Dude, the first episode we do where we're actually in the same room, we'll just do that. We will just slap.
Okay.
We will slap a turkey for an hour and a half, as hard as we can. You know what?
We'll let it defrost for a day so it's not frozen,
Right.
and it has a little jiggle to it. And yeah, we'll just take that and snapping the shit out of it.
What's great is that this is actually us maturing, because instead of playing drunken fist, we're gonna slap a turkey. Like it's not gonna hurt nearly as much, but it is fucking stupid.
Right. Imagine you could cook it and serve it to people and say, I slap cooked this myself. It took me a day and a half. It's very tender. That's part of the process.
We have one of the shitty infomercials where, are you tired of not being able to tenderize your chicken and then cook it at the same time? And it's a guy like in black and white with a hammer just trying to hit the chicken.
Right.
Like,
hits his own nail.
Yeah.
They're always morons in black and white. They can't figure out that anything works.
And they don't use like they just make like weird guttural cave sounds.
Right.
Like there's one the earwax cleaner.
And then look at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
I don't know how to do this. Everyone over there.
Yeah.
Folks at home, he said with his eyes. There's the earwax cleaner one. It's like a gun that you stick in your ear and it kind of warms it up and sucks it out or some shit.
Okay.
So they show all the ways that like people would like normally do it. Like apparently take a cone of paper and burn the end of it. That melts your earwax. Like that's a centuries old, dare I say thousands of years old
Probably.
method.
It's supposed to draw it out. Yeah.
But there's a guy with he puts a Q-tip in his ear and he puts it in a little bit and like he puts it in and stops. Like it's not all one thing. It doesn't look like a reaction at all. It looks like he sticks this thing in his ear, stops for a second, and looks at the camera and goes, "Ow!"
Why?
It's so fucking stupid. I mean, there's a whole Instagram page dedicated to this, right? Like people in infomercials are stupid.
Okay.
But so we're not uncovered. We're not breaking any new ground. But we're talking about talking about the Bible. Of course, we're not breaking any new ground. Anyways.
But animals did evolve after all the various other shit that we talked about happened. So sure, we'll give him a point. I'll give him a point for that.
Okay.
On day 6.
I do like that you keep saying him, like you're giving God the point.
Yeah, Jesus himself. All right, another point for you, Jesus. Speaking of, so the next paragraph was still on day 6, but it says, so all the days before this, then God said, let the earth produce. Then God said, let blah, blah, blah. This is now the final paragraph of day 6, where then God said, let us make mankind in our image according to our likeness. So who the fuck is God talking? All of a sudden now there's someone else with him that's like, come on, let us do this. Let's go over here and make, like, is he drunk now that he's, you know what? Let's make fucking dudes. Where did this let us come in? Like, what are you up to that on day 6?
He always talks about himself in the third person and uses the royal we when he's drunk, man. It's fucking
right.
This is Saturday Night God. Like Saturday Night God went to bed at sunrise and got up at like 10:30 to go to brunch, bro.
Right, happy hangover. Yeah, he's in bad shape now.
You can't get a hangover if you don't stop drinking, says Saturday morning God.
And he was like, I'm going to make dudes and chicks, and they're going to look like me. Speaking of, because that's an important point in this creation story, which comes before the Adam and Eve creation story. Well, chronologically, Adam and Eve was written first, but in the Bible, this comes first, Adam and Eve come second. God created male and female at the same time. It was right here. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. So it's very, the Bible contradicts each other all over the place, but this is just something to note when people point to the Bible to try to keep women down or whatever. Like, go back one story because it's even. Yeah. You skipped.
And I feel like the Bible's like assigned public defender right now. Like I'm just doing it to get my hours up so I can get hired by a firm. So begrudgingly, couldn't you take the whole part of the Adam and Eve story with God making Adam and then making Eve from Adam's rib? Couldn't you say that maybe that is like an under the microscope version of those 2-3 sentences?
I guess you could. Yeah, that it's one sentence that kind of sums up, like, this is the cliff notes, and then you break it down, and here's the details of that day.
Here's the nitty gritty. Here's for season 2.
Right.
You got the overarching story in season 1, and then season 2, you got the whole, like, the intimate dynamic between Adam and Eve and that snake. That snake who went on to be responsible for the best music. Fucking all of it.
You know what I don't understand as a fan of metal, but not a fan of horror movies? I don't understand why I'm watching a fucking NBA game with my 10 or 11-year-old, now he's 11-year-old son, and every commercial break is a jump scare with some demon face, and like, I'm not into that shit, and that's forced down my throat. But I listen to Slayer and I worship the devil. Like, where's the consistency? As long as it's someone masturbates with a crucifix, that's fine because it's visual.
Right.
But yeah, we can't sing about anything.
You can't have Ozzy saying whatever nonsense he was saying on the first several Black Sabbath albums.
I mean, I never. There's even After Forever on Children of the Grave. Well, not Children of the Grave. It's on the same. Why can't I think of the name of that album? Master of Reality is the name of the album that has. So After Forever is a song on there. And that song is all about loving God and loving Jesus. It's just, the chord progression. We really still think that fucking summons devils. Like, get over it.
Yeah, the triad notes.
Yeah.
Or the devil's chord.
I've played that song a million times. No demon yet. I played it on my way to church. Everything's fine.
I love the idea of me picturing you pulling up to church, but being like, I need a cigarette before I go into church. And just in your car in the parking lot, smoking a butt, looking at the church, just going, what is this that stands before me?
I drove Michael to his first reconciliation listening to Slayer.
Adam.
Get a little balance of both sides. I like church. I actually like religion. I just hate religious people. Like, the idea is this isn't supposed to be how everything was really made. Like, obviously, that's what science is for. This is just how not to be a dick. Like, follow that shit. Don't follow all the other. Like, don't try to fit this into why we should not kill. Like, abortion is not good. Obviously, no one would want to get an abortion if you could avoid it. It kind of sucks. But at the same time, why the fuck does this book say whether or not it's legal? Like, that has nothing to do. The two things to me are completely separate. Like, yeah.
Like, I've always had, and I've never been able to work it out in my head, but maybe spitballing with you. Like, I always had the idea of trying to run a country based off of how a religious book, any religious book, is written, is like trying to run a football league, but you're using baseball rules. Like, these aren't the same rules as that. Like, or like, and the rest of us, guess what? Some of us don't play baseball or football. Some of us play soccer. Some of us play fucking hockey. So none of these rules should count.
Right.
They shouldn't be. Sure. Can they influence your decision? Absolutely. But
sure.
Why?
I'll one up you. You ever read a news story from, say, 2021? It's like, oh, this is 2 years old. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This shit's from fucking 4000 AD. Like, let's put that in perspective. It's a little old. It's a little outdated.
BC. Sorry.
Fuck, yeah, you're right. We're not up to 4000 AD yet, are we?
Yeah.
That's still a ways away. 4000 BC. Yeah.
Dude.
6,000 years ago. My point is, it's fucking old.
Dude, I saw a fucking bumper sticker the other day that said Christianity founded 33 AD. No, it fucking wasn't. He was already preaching. He was already converting motherfuckers from Judaism.
Yeah. Right.
Like, he was already walking into temples and flipping tables. He was wrecking shop in temples.
And when he was doing that, and even for a good time after he supposedly died, like, this was just supposed to be part of Judaism. It was just kind of like a sect or a branch. It wasn't until later on that there was like some internal beef between the Christian leaning Jews and the traditional Jews that it kind of broke off and became its own thing. That's a whole other topic but that's like the dude that wrote John in the book of Revelations. That supposedly seems like it was the same author, but came way after the other three gospels. And if you look at the three gospels, Mark was written first, and that seems almost like an advertisement to Romans, because Jesus was very dramatic, beat your breast, flip your table, emotional kind of, and Romans were into that. Matthew,
Wait a minute.
Jesus
Are
was,
you telling me that Italian people really like being very expressive with their emotions?
oh
And
yeah.
you get right out of town, mister.
I promise. And it's and especially back then when there was nothing cool except going to watch a play or something like that. Like that was entertaining. So they were into that big, like, Jesus dropping to his knees and screaming at the sky kind of shit like that. It was propaganda to try to get Romans to convert, to try to pull them in.
Oh man.
And then Matthew, which came second, that's where a lot of Jewish type references, and there's the three wise men, or I forget which one is the wise men and the three kings, but when Jesus was born, one of them had the wise men and one of them the kings. Matthew was propaganda or like marketing to Jewish people to try to get them into the fold to this new way. And then Luke was for what's the word that they use for non-Jewish Gentiles?
Yes, the Gentiles.
Yeah. So that's why Jesus was all about, helping the poor and the kingdom of God is a rich man. So it was like they were marketing to non-Jewish people to try to get them into the fold also. Each of the gospels.
How much better, by the way, is goyim than Gentiles? Like as a word, it's like that is such a good upgrade.
Yeah.
It's like Gentiles.
Yeah, Gentiles
it's like,
doesn't.
It's like all right, but it's like the goyim. It's like ooh. I sound
Gentiles sounds like yeah, goyim. I don't know. It sounds like a person. Gentiles. It sounds like we got to go We got to go to the ceramic store to see about some Gentiles.
That was before Jennifer Convertibles got into couches. She tried to open Gentiles. And it was just all sandalwood. She only had sandalwood.
Yeah,
for some
it flopped. Forgot about Jennifer Convertibles.
Jennifer Convertibles, is that you?
Come back from the big city.
Well, last time I saw you, you were in my grandmother's basement covered in plastic. That is probably the best couch joke that I'm going to tell. That is the threshold.
But
yeah.
So anyway, but where I was going with that was the first three gospels were marketing to try to convert different groups of people. John came later, the fourth gospel, and like it is tonally different from the first three, and that's kind of more marketing towards fuck this group, let's break away and do our own thing. So there was kind of like internal strife. So that's kind of where Christianity branched off and became its own thing. It was just supposed to be like, I don't know, a new way of looking at Judaism in the beginning for the first couple decades or whatever. So get back to your 33 AD. You know what the fuck you're talking about. Yeah.
And I was just going to bring up another thing with that. But first, like, so the way you're describing it is Christianity was going to be to Judaism what Protestants were to Christianity. still technically
That's kind
considered
of
the same thing, but just kind of an offshoot where like, no, we don't like how you fuckers are doing this thing that we kind of agree with.
Yeah.
And then it just
I think that's a good
became
way
its
to
own
put it.
thing.
Yeah.
Also, back to founded 33 AD. You had the 12 apostles already. Like, you had a crew that you were rolling with already. You were already doing
Right.
miracles. Like, that's the
Yeah.
one thing missing from all cults is these motherfuckers can't do miracles. He was doing miracles before? No, come on. Absolutely not. And you had John the Baptist being a maniac or screaming at people about how he's legit.
He was letting them know, yeah, this shit's coming. Get ready. Yeah.
John the Baptist, oh man, if we could... John the Baptist would have been Jesus's manager in wrestling, right? Like, he would have been cutting wild fucking promos for him.
That's Paul Bearer saying that Kane's coming. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Like he was warning Undertaker for weeks that his brother was coming. And then he showed up. Baptized his ass with a choke slam.
Oh, man. You know what? For the next wrestling thing that we're going to do, I'll find a video about Kane and the Undertaker. I would like to discuss that. But yeah, so... Oh, man, we just really got into the actual religion itself quite a bit. That was funny. But yeah, so that's day 6.
That's day 6. People came last. That was the last thing to happen. We'll give a point for that because, you know, we evolved.
We are one of the most recent things.
Yeah. There might be other stuff, but I don't know about it. So we're going to go with us.
I don't know nothing without my reading glasses.
Yeah. Science fucking magazine said, stuff might have come after, but did they got a magazine? No. They can go fuck themselves.
Science fucking magazine July cover. Hey, who's more recent than us?
Huh? That's what I thought.
It says story on page 47, and it's just page 47. What I fucking say on the cover?
And then the cover for August is, look at last month's fucking cover. Same shit. Don't ask any questions.
I love how all of our jokes about what Science fucking magazine is. It's like a bad choose your own adventure book. It's like, hey, turn to page 43. Guess what? You fucking died again.
Yeah. Also, you fucking suck.
I don't know how you're not illiterate because you definitely suck at reading. So score, end of day 6. What are we at? Is it 3?
Well,
3 out of...
We'll have to day 7 just to wrap it up. So day 7 is when God saw what he did and he rested. That's good. That means he woke up. He said, "What the fuck happened last night? Holy shit! I was making people. I was made birds. Like, you know, Sunday morning. You know how it is after a bender on Friday and Saturday." So he looked down and he saw it was good, but it was time to rest. And he hasn't been involved since. So I give them a point because where the fuck is he? What has he been doing? So he's still resting. So.
Oh man, it must be daylight savings for this Sunday for this motherfucker because it's taking way longer than a Sunday normally does.
Right.
Oh.
And then he blessed the 7th day and sanctified it because he rested from all his work which he created. So bullshit to that.
It definitely does fit the party god narrative we've been spinning so far. It's like Sunday was just like, oh, I don't have to go anywhere. I'm just gonna lay in bed.
Yeah, thank God. Oh, thank me.
Oh,
I don't have to get up.
By the way, so we've also scientifically established tonight what Jesus' grandmother's voice sounded like.
That's true. That is canon.
Lucille Ball. Throat cancer Lucille Ball is what Jesus' grandmother sounds like.
You just go, God, what did you do last night? There's people all over the earth now.
And he was like, hey, Ma, just like every other Saturday night, I'm trying to make new people, all right? So that's what it was? God was making people, so they were just like, God was fucking getting it done on day 6.
I guess.
That's the implication?
Yeah.
That's what's being implied there? Well, that is what I inferred from that implication, so...
Yeah. I think that's accurate. I don't know what kind of fucking sociopath deity you have to be that to sit around eternity and you say, you know what I could go for? 7 billion worshippers. Like, how fucking needy are you? Like, you couldn't just make... like, get a dog. My dog fucking thinks I'm God. It's fantastic.
Yeah, like, just... I am fine with the idea of having a dog that I know that the second the dog and I are awake, we're just going to be so excited to see each other. In fact, it's going to be a lot of the dog waking me up because it can't wait to hang out with me again.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right, yeah.
That is so fine. And then it's also the nice thing about it not being a kid where you can just walk away from it for 6 hours and leave the house.
Right.
And not where...
And imagine now having 7 billion dogs.
Right.
It's a little bit it's excessive.
That you don't interact with at all. You don't pet any of these dogs.
Right.
Not one of those dogs gets pets or scritches.
Yeah, you're like it. No neck scritches. Yeah. You're like, here, dogs. Here's a book. Don't bother me. I'm resting.
It's like bad alcoholic dad from the 50s. None of you talk to me today. This daddy's resting day.
I'll talk to one dog only as a burning squeak toy, and you relay the message to everyone else.
The burning squeak toy. Love it.
You had the ability to make everything. You can't just deliver that message to everyone at the same time. Be like, listen, you're all fucking up. Like, it's got to go to one person. Come on. You got more.
Yeah, like, why is God Agatha Christie? Why is it fucking mysteries one after the other? Why is it like, I don't know, maybe you should probably have faith? It's like every human who's told me to have faith has fucked me over.
Yeah. Have faith that I'm going to bounce with all this money that you gave me as a deposit. Yeah, God, like, if I was Moses and God, it was day 4 now, and God was like, go tell the Pharaoh, if he doesn't let him go, I'm going to drop a whole bunch of frogs. You're like, why don't you just fucking free them? Why, if you have the power to drop frogs, just free the slaves. You just free the slaves, and we'll all worship you for freeing us instead of all this fucking bullshit that you're making me do. I have a stick.
I gotta fucking drop frogs.
Yeah. I have a stick. The Pharaoh doesn't like me, and you could just do this by saying slaves are free.
I like the idea of each one of the plagues with the exception of the final one, was just God picked up too many of these things. He kept picking up, like his eyes were bigger than his stomach, except it was with picking up stuff. And then it was like, all right, well, I already picked up too much lice. Tell the Pharaoh I'm gonna drop the lice on him. And then just sprinkle them all out. It's like, all right, now it's boils. It's like, how'd you even pick those up? Those are part of people. How did you just separate?
And all that.
You can.
He escalated very quick.
You can
Sorry, go ahead.
take boils off of people and hold all of them to drop them back onto people. Just give a stiff arm to the Pharaoh's army and just let them walk out.
Right, make them all fall asleep for a half hour. Yeah. That's all. That's all.
You know what?
Need.
That motherfucker never saw The Wizard of Oz. He could have done like some poppies bullshit and made them all fall asleep in the field.
Sure. And I love the escalation too. It was like, I'm gonna annoy you with this. I'm gonna annoy you with this. I'm gonna annoy you with this. Fuck it, firstborn dead. Like, why did we make that leap to now killing babies?
Right. Like, you didn't even kill their pets.
Right. Yeah. Well, make it tougher to walk. Something like
like a true sociopath. You didn't kill a bunch of animals first to see how amazing it felt. Like, you just went straight.
Yeah.
You just went straight to fucking murdering the firstborn child.
Right. Like, yeah, it could have been like, I'm gonna make beef not taste good. Like, that would suck. Like, I would start something.
Dude, if
if
they made beef taste like Brussels sprouts, everybody would lose their fucking mind.
Yeah.
I picked the green vegetable on purpose because I knew what your face would do. But
and you picked you didn't pick like string beans. I'm good with Brussels sprouts. Yeah, no, I'm out. But you cover them in butter. Well, I could just fucking eat butter and just leave the Brussels sprout out of it. I could do that with bread also.
I could cover diarrhea in butter.
Right. Fry a shoe and cover it with butter. I'd rather that.
Dude, they're trying. I say they, I mean restaurants are trying so hard to make Brussels sprouts cool the last 5 or 6 years.
Big restaurant trying to push Brussels sprouts.
big Brussels sprout is in cahoots with big restaurant.
See through you.
So lazy ass God sleeping on Sunday. Oh,
do we have a drum roll sound effect?
What do you mean?
Or like
do
we have
you
sound effects on this podcast?
Like this? Do you mean like this? Oh, it's not doing it.
Like,
oh man.
Oh. Do like National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Oh, there we go. Out of a possible 14 points, the Bible receives a 5.5. Well, out of 13. 5.5 out of 13.
Oh, the Bible.
Yeah. So, God, if you created the universe, you didn't explain it very well, because this sounds like a load of bullshit. Thank you. Oh, this is still going. Thank you. Thank you. I feel like Mickey Mantle.
This is where you
joke.
start to all right, okay, all right.
The thing about
Yeah.
all right. The thing about that's so that's what we came up with. Earth, Earth. The Bible gets 5.5 fake points out of a possible 13, which is no good in our
No,
book.
that is not 5.5 out of 13. So that's like
that might be the 44 in math that I
Yeah,
got
there you
in
go.
6th grade. I think that's you tried your best, and that's what you came up with, Bible. It's not good.
oh man. So yeah, potentially other religions.
Yeah, we went an hour 45 with this bullshit topic, so yeah, we might do it again.
I'm excited. I'm excited. I am, and I know it's the easy joke, and they'll probably be the first ones to sue because they're a very suey bunch. Scientology. I would love to talk that one because there's a lot of phi with the psi in their story.
I'm in.
How about you, Scientology jerks? Our listeners, not Scientologists.
No, the jerks, the Scientology jerks.
Let us know what you think. What religion do you want us to talk about? Is there another religion that we don't know the creation story to? Write us at undertheguiseofscience@gmail.com, Facebook or Instagram. Guys always spelled Guise.
Yes.
Yes.
Me next. Yeah. TikTok is under the guise of science. Sorry. YouTube is under the guise of science. Twitter is the different one because they were stupid about it, and it's at Science Guys. Again, Guise. Also, listen to Farparf.
Also, absolutely listen to Farparf. And also, check out our Twitter account, because I finally read our Twitter account to watch you anonymously argue with flat earthers and creationists. And you are a hoot.
It's fun.
You're pretty good at it.
It's It's when I'm not trolling to try to make progress. I'm being a dick. I'm trying my best to be as much of a dick as I can.
It has to go somewhere. Like, that's the thing about it. You can't just let that build up inside you. There needs to be a release valve with it.
I like when I say something sarcastic and they don't know it's sarcastic, and I get likes on it from like the people that I'm making fun of, and they don't realize it. Like when they were talking about, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of climate change being faked by billionaires, and it's all a plan to get rulership over us. And I said something like, yeah, their plan of pumping carbon into the air for 200 years and creating a Venus-like world all for themselves is panning out. It's better how I wrote it, but they started liking it like you want to live on Venus. Like, you missed the point of that shit. Like, Venus is a bad look.
Are you using the agreed upon alternating capital lowercase spelling of words when you're doing that?
I got to do that more. No, I was trying to just do regular grammar.
Like, this is how lazy I am. Like, I love doing that for jokes and for writing memes. But in my head, I'm just like, can't they just like make a words filter so I don't have to keep hitting capital and lowercase where it just does it on its own for me? Because I can't.
It's double the...
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my left thumb onto one of the other incorrect letters that are just next to the one I'm trying to type. And this fucking...
Yeah.
I've gotten so bad at texting on my phone now. Like, my fingers don't look any fatter, but they seem to have like 7 times the surface area that they used to.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I think the letters are getting smaller.
they are.
That's it.
They are. That's what it is. So, like Trader Joe's parking lots, they're making them unnecessarily small.
It's conspiracy by big letter to make little letters.
By Big QWERTY. All right, fuckers. Until next time. Thanks for hearing.
Yeah.